again, little buddies and Betties. Thanks for tuning in for our final podcast for Big Little Lies, covering the finale entitled You Get What You Need. She is Kristin.
She is Bethany.
And if you don't already, please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. Please review us on iTunes. This helps so much. Tell a friend about us. And subscribe to whatever podcast catcher you use.
Whatever outlet you use to listen to us, subscribe.
If you could subscribe, that really helps us out as well. Write in anything and everything to boobtubebuddies@gmail.com. We will answer it no matter what it is, even if it is no, not if it's personal stuff. I'll probably answer it if it's personal stuff.
Yeah.
What do you want to know? Ask me, I'll tell you. And we will always give you a shout out on the podcast. Head over to boobtubebuddies.com and check out what else we've got going on. Currently, you and I are doing Feud on FX, of course. But the other buddies, there's a shit ton of us. The other buddies are covering Walking Dead, Legion, Iron Fist. And we've got a ton of other content on there as well.
Some good stuff coming up, too.
And coming up, oh yes, we're covering The Get Down, The Leftovers, Gotham, American Gods, Twin Peaks, Sense8, I believe we just talked about that, House of Cards, Glow, Game of Thrones, Orange is the New Black, Fargo, Better Call Saul, Preacher, and on top of that, regular monthly segments of what we've been watching in all that downtime that we have.
Yeah, I was going to say, we quit our day job, and now we are recording out of a box.
And we do movie reviews, and it's all hosted by different combinations of buddies and Betties.
I don't know if I can wait till June to record with you again, so we're going to have to find a movie.
Yeah, we'll do it. And if this is somehow...
Can't live without my Betty.
This is somehow not enough for you, write in and tell us what you want us to cover, and we'll do it. Probably. If you're feeling particularly charitable, we have a Patreon campaign going on our page, boobtubebuddies.com. Any little bit helps so that we can continue bringing you good stuff. Sorry, that looked strange on my paper. But
you're not saying this all out loud, just off the top of your head?
Yeah, right. And most important, but seriously, most importantly, just for listening and telling anyone, we so appreciate it. We love everyone that writes in. We really love the conversation, the back and forth. Thank you so much to everyone who listens. We really appreciate your listenership. Tonight, we will cheers, mourn the ending of Big Little Lies.
I'm very sad.
I am too. I kept thinking like, oh, well, I can't wait till season 2. Oh, there's no season 2. As always, we'll have our segment, 2 Truths and 1 Big Little Lie. In honor of this episode, we're doing Elvis and Audrey.
Yeah. And
let's see. Housekeeping?
Yes.
You got housekeeping?
Yeah, I have housekeeping.
Well, let's cheers really quick.
Cheers to the end.
Bing! Just a new sound.
We're drinking our Otter Bays.
Yeah. You oughter try one.
A woman after my own heart. I love it. First of all, 2 housekeeping things. 1, I'm sick, so very sorry.
So she's
just pre-warning.
Shitting and puking everywhere.
I'm sorry for my vomiting throughout the entire episode. But my also second piece of housekeeping is our awesome fan Sarah. We've been kind of chatting back and forth with her, and she helped me out so much because her name is pronounced Leon.
I was saying Leanne. I know.
So thank you so much.
We're talking about the
murdering
author
that
of the book Big Little Lies.
Yes, Leon, and she actually got to meet her at a book sighting. So that's
awesome.
I said sighting. She saw a book, and all of a sudden, next thing she knows, Leon's like right next to her.
Threw the book at her. She signed it, and she flew away.
So, being that we've actually had some conversations back and forth with her, I asked her to give us an opinion on the finale, and definitely got some thoughts from her. So I'll be kind of interjecting some of those thoughts throughout our episode tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, it was awesome. And reading through the bit that I read through, I'm like, God damn, she should She should be here.
Too bad you don't live where we live. You could have sat in for me tonight. No way anybody's taking this finale from me.
Or me. I'm wearing an oversized t-shirt and nothing else. I think I just accidentally flashed you my vagina.
The microphone's in the way, so it just looks like a huge bush. Anywho. That's my last beep. Oh. Hoy.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes.
And I have to cough too, so.
The opening, we see Celeste getting beat the fuck up. And the sounds are going through the air vent of her screaming. Well, not screaming, but groaning.
Like at first, before you even get to who's in
there
or anything,
you
don't know if it's sex, you don't know if it's somebody being beaten. It's kind of like just...
Is that sex or someone getting beaten?
No.
Yeah.
So... No, without the yeses and the nos. I don't think they would say no to sex or yes to beating. So that was my ad lib, which was awful.
One of the twins, Max, comes to the door about school, and
why did it have to be Max?
I don't know. Well, I'm just assuming it's Max. I can't tell the fucking difference between those kids.
If you watch the episode, it's Max.
Okay, it's always Max. Perry stops him before he can see poor Celeste curled up on the floor. And she's like, and it made me so sad. She's like,
this whole episode choked me up.
Me too. That defensive, that pose that animals
it's
do.
like a fetal position.
Yeah, she's covering her belly, and he gets down there, and she's like cringing or, pulling away from him, and he says, I'm sorry, Sparkles.
Yeah, and then he tells the kids, like, oh, the monster's gonna get you.
The monster's shaking you to school.
And, something I think we've talked about a couple episodes before, and also Sarah pointed out as well, they definitely do a good job with him playing with the boys and them playing with their mom. And, get mommy, he's a monster.
Right.
He's, all that. This is my favorite episode that we are going to talk about.
Really?
Because we are allowed to say anything.
Oh, I know. There's no spoilers.
Spoilers be damned.
It felt like... at the end of the day,
unless you're listening to us to actually hear what happened in the episode. So here come the spoilers.
Oh man.
Without watching the episode.
That would be really weird.
Yeah.
Maddie at her house, she sees Tori drive by. Her and Ed have some sort of weirdness in the beginning, but
yeah.
Tori drives by in her silver Saturn. Clearly Joseph's not bringing in the big bucks with her old ass Saturn.
I know, exactly.
And she would stick out like a sore thumb in that fucking neighborhood.
Yeah, she would. I think that's why she noticed her right away.
And Ed sees that weirdness too.
She's like, is that the help? Oh wait, that's Tori.
Yeah, and Ed sees it too. And so Madison goes and...
That was stupid.
Would you do that though?
What? Drive
if you
by?
thought your son... Yeah, your son. If you thought your son was cheating on you. If you thought your husband was cheating on you and you thought you knew who the person was, would you drive by their house?
I think I'd start off slow and Facebook stalk.
I don't think I would be doing drive-bys.
Drive-bys, I just...
Maybe a drive-by, but not sit waiting for her
Sarah was like, I would call and hang up.
Right.
Which I loved. But I definitely would start virtually and see where that took me.
Right. It's like any relationship, really.
Yeah. I would, make up a fake profile and then befriend her, and I would...
Yeah.
Put my picture as a really hot guy and then try to hit on her and see how much she's into this guy.
You know what you're doing, man. Sounds like you've got experience.
I told you I've had some really nice boyfriends in the past.
As she swirls her Jameson.
I'm sick. It's the only thing that makes me feel better.
Oh, Joan Crawford. So Madeline goes to confront Joseph at the theater about Tori, and he's really a jerk to her. And he says like, that was the best sex of your life. What'd you come here for? You wanna fuck me again? And it's just
very realistic.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he's angry. He's been rebuffed by her.
Yeah.
And ends up calling her a self-entitled rich bitch. Get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah.
So that went well.
Yeah. All in all, it was a good talk.
Celeste at therapy, crying, and the counselor tries to comfort her, and she lets her know she got the apartment. She's ready. But first, she can't miss this gala.
I thought you would find this interesting. So like I told you, I'm going to interject throughout. Sarah is a stay-at-home mom right now, but she used to be a therapist.
Mm.
And she said that, she liked how she comforted her, but it's kind of a rule of thumb not to touch the person.
Therapist. Sarah, I do similar work, so.
That's why I wanted to put that out and tell you, because I thought you would like that.
We're simpatico.
Yeah. But then she storms out at the mention of, you know, her children being hurt, which is kind of funny considering she hasn't even thought of the reverse. Yeah.
Well, and, you know, I think Sarah and I felt differently about this when I read her email. My approach is very...
You're allowed to feel differently.
Yeah, you know, my approach in therapy has always been, like, very Rogerian, which is very much like... It's not necessarily about what I say, it's just about me being there, and you can say whatever, and you feel safe to say it. I'm not necessarily one to challenge a lot. I don't do a lot of that. Whereas this therapist does.
Yeah.
Which I like in a therapist for myself. But she says, you know, it's one thing for you, it's one thing to be killed, but God forbid you miss a party. And she said, I think she's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, you know who that is, right? Because I had no idea either. Jason's watching it last night, and he goes, holy shit, that's Calamity Jane from Deadwood. Oh. And then all of a sudden he shows me these like YouTube clips, and if you're watching Big Little Lies and you like the therapist, please just look her up as Calamity Jane, because I know her as the therapist now, I'm just watching the therapist going ape shit. Like, and it's just like the funniest.
I never watched Deadwood, but I've only heard good things.
Me too. He's like obsessed with that, but it's really funny because it's just like, to me, the therapist dressed up as Calamity Jane, like screaming crazy. It was really funny. We're gonna lose some weight in here tonight.
Oh my God, my house is so hot. Poor Kristin is sweating her balls off.
I think it's because I'm sick too, so it's just like mixing together.
I feel so awful.
Don't.
We can move this into my bedroom.
I could use to lose some weight. It's cool.
My house is like 1960s house, and the garage has been converted into a living room.
This was the garage?
Yeah, this was the garage, and that's why there's no central air coming through here.
Stop it right now.
Yeah, that's why we have to use the window unit, which we can't
use right now.
Can I
ask you a question?
Yes.
What was the living room before?
That. I'm pointing to our foyer.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's an old house.
I love your house. I love the location. I love everything about it. I learn something new every day, though.
We're dying of heat right now, and I am so sorry.
Don't be sorry, man. It's all good.
But
it's all good, man.
I was worried about you getting a crotch shot. You're gonna get a whole lot more here.
Literally,
because I am taking off.
I don't have my glasses on, and you know what happens when I don't have my glasses on? I walk into the wrong restaurant to pick up our to-go food, make a huge stink that they don't have my order, and then they see my screenshot and tell me I'm at the wrong restaurant. So I can't see shit without my glasses. You're good.
Oh, he's sick, but you are too. Yeah, that's what the therapist says to Celeste.
Oh, I'm like, yes, I am sick.
And you're right. She walks out of the office, and when you get really upset about something that you shouldn't get upset about, it means it's true, or you're worried it's true. When she's upset, he would never hurt the kids.
It happens to me all the time.
Me too. Or when you, we've talked about this, emphatically deny something or repeat something. I didn't do that. Yeah. I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
And you're in your head going, I totally did that. I totally did that.
Or if you, like, it's some part of your brain, yeah.
Or what Natalie Portman says in Garden State, none of what I said was even remotely true.
The next scene, Ziggy feels sick. Okay, so I have to ask you this. Because he's not sick. He doesn't have a temp. And Jane's asking him about it. And he says, I have aches. And I swear to God, I thought he said, I have AIDS. That is the best get out of school.
Guys, we've been holding on to this for 6 episodes.
Ziggy's got AIDS. Oh, AIDS is funny.
That sounds like a really awesome song.
I rebound it for a second too. I'm like, what did he say? Oh, aches.
Aches. Okay.
I thought they're being silly because
I thought he was like super AIDSy or something.
Well, he was asking about sex the last episode, so maybe now he's like, I've got AIDS.
He's like just slowly trying to figure out how to break it to his mother.
That was a really strange
Amabella loves choice. Star Wars, plus I have AIDS.
I've got AIDS. Turns into Dallas Buyers Club all of a sudden.
Is it Reese Witherspoon in that?
Is she?
No.
No,
she's Jennifer Gardner. Right?
No.
Oh my God, my head. It's Matthew McConaughey and some other chick.
Jennifer Gardner. Yeah, okay. You're right. I'm so sorry.
I'm like, oh, save me. Move on.
Okay, but Ziggy's like, he doesn't want to talk about it. He promised Amabella he wouldn't talk about it. And she's afraid she'll be killed dead. That was cute.
And that's from the book.
Yes.
So I liked that.
And Jane says, okay, you don't have to talk about it, but encourages him to point and kind of uses the same methodology that Gordon used with Amabella. Like, this is, you wouldn't want a friend to get hurt.
I don't think it's a bad methodology. I think it's a great methodology.
No, it's great technique. And it works because he points out Max, twin, to, what's the other boy's name? Josh. Which
sucks because every Josh I know is this huge D-bag.
Yeah.
And Max is my son's name, so if they could have just made one of the assholes.
Make it Josh.
But that's my own personal,
No, Josh is a D-bag name. There's a bunch of D-bag names.
Let's go over him and lose a bunch of fans.
If you are a Josh
and you are listening, prove it.
And you're
right
not
in.
a D-bag, right in. My name is Josh and I'm not a D-bag.
I would love to get that email. Please. Josh.
How dare
reach
you?
out.
I'm offended. I've been nothing but a stand-up gent.
I have so many questions. First of all, how dare you?
Jane. I keep wanting to call her Joan because a feud. Jane tells
Jane Crawford
tells Maddie at the cafe about Max. And Maddie's like, you have to tell Celeste.
Yeah.
And then fucking Gordon Klein walks in and he wants to talk to Jane and he's very aggressive. And he basically says, you attacked my wife. If you do it again or if you get near her again, I'll have to get a restraining order. And
all towards the book.
What?
This is all in the book. I kind of like...
Oh, I have thoughts on this.
Yeah, okay.
That I want to talk to you about.
Let's do it. This is the perfect area to talk about it.
No, I won't do it. I want to, but I can't.
After the podcast.
And Tom's like, you can't harass my customers. Leave. And Gordon, you lost yourself a lot of customers. And Tom says, I was trying to press you for a while to Jane. And Jane's like, you're straight? Tom's like, what? Okay, so here are my thoughts.
I hated that part.
I hate this scene. What was this?
The Gordon thing was accurate. The Tom thing was just hurried.
Well, okay, so in the book they explain the gay mix-up thing. They go into it, but it's never explained in the show. It
says she says it once in maybe the first or second episode.
It's
and then all of a sudden he's into Jane. Like, they don't really... The way you feel Tom and Jane's relationship in the book is nothing like you feel it in the show.
Why even include it? Why not just leave the whole gay part out altogether?
Maybe to show that, or the gay part, I was going to say... I bet they kept it in so they didn't have to build a relationship with Tom and her, and they could have kept it off for a while and it would have been a surprise at the end, but it
seems like lazy writing to me.
Yes. Absolutely,
how
I agree.
Are we going to tie this up and make it like the book? Oh, well, blah, blah.
Yeah, he's just going to ask her out and say he's been trying to impress her.
Right.
He's like, but here's what they did. They did exactly like the book in the beginning when Madeline says he's gay. They did the exact same thing at the end where he kind of comes to save the day because of Gordon. Mm-hmm. And then they decide to, him be her date for the thing. Mm-hmm. But they take out everything in the middle, so it just seems so, out of nowhere lazy writing, like you said. It's annoying.
Also, I have a little bit of problem with Gordon's approach in this, because in the book, Gordon is way more aggressive in this whole thing. But we already know Gorthin. God damn, Gorthin.
Gorthin from the planet Renata.
In the book, he's a cheater, and we know it.
Oh, see, I have that note there. They just completely leave out that special nanny, the French nanny, apparently Gordon's banging her. And they just completely leave it out.
And other people, too. Other moms or something. But, so you already...
Banging other moms? Oh, I thought that... For a second, I thought you meant the nanny was banging other moms. Oh. I'm like, well, this is getting sexy.
You don't remember that? But, okay, so he's a cheater, and you already hate him. But in the show...
You don't really hate him that much.
He hasn't done anything. He's been nothing but be kind of supportive to a crazy-ass wife.
I love that you say that, because you're so right about that. I didn't even think about that.
What? Gordon? Why would you...
Like, I didn't like how I liked how they kept true to the book of Gordon approaching them, but you're so right how they've kept throughout the entire season of Gordon being actually a pretty decent guy.
Yeah.
Maybe just beat up a little by his wife sometimes, but that's it.
They're like, we gotta up his douche factor in this episode.
No, he's a lot meaner, and he's a cheat, so...
Right, and he doesn't give a shit about Renata.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. So, we agree. That scene was chunky and... Alright, good. Nathan at school pickup.
Oh, wait, before you go, I'm sure you agree, Sarah agrees, and I agree. Maddie got her one last line in. I would have told him go fuck himself, but I don't talk like that.
Yeah. Does she say I'm a lady? No, she doesn't say that.
No, she goes, I would have told him to go fuck himself, but I don't talk like that. So.
Oh, those one-liners.
God, I love them.
They're so good.
You know, she says, she's like, Maddie's my spirit animal. I'm like, yes!
Nathan at school pickup, and he goes up to Maddie, and he talks about how he saw a counselor, which Maddie thinks is hilarious. And Abby's thing is just to scream for attention. Turns out you can really mess kids up with divorce. Like, oh, you fucking prick. He's so stupid.
I just love her response, though.
Oh, really? I
didn't know. I mean,
I didn't think about that when I left you.
Splitting up can negatively affect the kids? Wish I had known that before I walked out.
Yeah.
Wait.
But then she says, I'm glad you're taking this parenting thing seriously. And they go back and forth a little bit, but what I love, Nathan can't help himself. He's got to just be a prick and lean in her window and say, Bonnie's going to sing tonight. She's really good.
But I love Chloe.
Oh my God, Chloe. He's just being a dick, and Chloe's like, good to know.
I love her.
It's perfect.
If I could be promised a daughter like her.
You'd have them? Well, I don't know if you know this yet, but you can't choose what kind of baby you have. If it's a girl, I'm like, if it's a girl, abort. No, I'm just kidding. Not funny.
Abort joke.
Abortion joke.
Abortion joke.
Write in, tell me how awful I am. Oh, if you drove down my street, there's women's clinics on my street. Every day I take my kid to daycare, and there's all these people protesting.
It's like that movie you watched.
Oh, yeah.
12th in Delaware or something
I
like
do
that.
remember the name of it, and I can't.
Is that it?
Yeah, 12th in Delaware.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a documentary. It's good, no matter what your stance. Anyway.
It's good, no matter what you think. So Celeste is at her new place, and I really like this scene. It's very understated, but I like that because it's so human for what she's doing. It is so easy to forget the bad. So easy. You break up with a guy in high school. Sometimes it's really like, oh, that was my first love. Mm-hmm. And you don't remember like how actually crappy the relationship was at times.
I remember. I still have nightmares about it.
But do you know what I mean? Like
yes.
you can sort of, well, I'm saying you could sort of forget the bad when you want to remember the person is good.
I guess I don't want to remember the person as good.
Well, not specifically your ex from high school.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, just in general.
Yes, absolutely.
You
romanticize things.
You romanticize things. It's very easy to forget the bad, and this is why I like that scene, because she's walking around constantly remembering that her like the lead up to her fetal position at the very beginning of the show, and every time she does, she goes stalk something else, she goes fix something else. Like it is like
a hit. That thought is like a.
But she has to. In order to keep going, because if she doesn't,
she's got to keep that.
She'll just be like, "Well, I love Perry, and it's just passion." And
question though, why is she wearing police/surgical gloves to clean?
I didn't notice that.
Those are like the gloves the doctor. Those are medical gloves.
I mean, Celeste seems pretty serious. So.
All right, it bothered me.
I mean, that bothers me too.
About it.
You know what's so funny is Jason hadn't watched the last two episodes.
Covering up her hands. Just kidding.
I'm going to interject right there. Did you read that article I sent you? Did you have time?
I have not yet.
So it was this huge article. Shout out to David Parks. I have a whole new respect for Nicole Kidman in this light of Celeste tonight, honestly, because some of her answers were incredible. How when their fights, the director gave them handheld cameras.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so every fight that they did, if something messed up, they had to start all over again. And apparently she actually went home with tons of bruises. And she's like, I never take Advil. And I actually took Advil just to get through these bruises.
I bet he's a big guy.
Yeah. And she's like, and it was just very, it made me feel very vulnerable. And, no character has gotten to my psyche the way Celeste has.
I did read that part.
And I just thought that was, I don't know. I thought that was very interesting that they gave him handheld cameras for all of those scenes. And I think that's really interesting.
You have to think, too, like, so there are plenty of movies where women get beaten and abused, but this isn't a movie. This was 6 hours. You know, this was 6 movies. So that's a really long time to be in the mindset of that character.
Can I fast forward to something I noted at the end with you
course.
saying that? The very last line of the book kind of alludes to what Bethany just said. But they actually don't say this in the show, so I wanted to say it. And it was a quote that I read off an article, so let me just go ahead and say that. It said, unlike the Celeste of the show, who keeps her silence over her husband's crimes, the Celeste of the novel ends with the final line, this can happen to anyone. And
I'm nodding.
They really showed that.
So is that what you think this book was about? Like a cautionary tale or a...
Not even just a cautionary tale. I think it was more of an approach of, it's not that we don't understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't get how hard it can be. And we don't make it any less.
Well, and it's a good portrayal of abuse because we see, and I will fast forward a little bit too. So we see 2 women getting abused. We see Celeste, who's this beautiful, intelligent, successful, uber rich woman with the seemingly perfect marriage. So that's one look at abuse. And then we have Jane, who is not rich and who in the show looks like maybe a little bit more like your stereotypical person you think of when you think of abuse.
Yeah.
Single woman with a kid, one night stand, the woman that people blame for what happened to them.
Yeah.
And it's the same person that abused both of them. And I think that the director does a good job with going back and forth between the two. And what I really loved, it actually gave me chills, is that in the end, and I know we're jumping all around here, but...
We're jumping.
The 5 women there at the end, that Perry realizes he has that look, that he recognizes Jane and Celeste, and the camera goes back and forth. They are both dressed as the same Audrey. And just sort of like, you know, it's just...
But one is like tall, elegant, like, and then one is like this average. I'm not going to say anything negative, but more of like, if I were to go as Audrey, I'd have the money to look like Jane. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I don't mean it in a negative way. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm saying, you remember in the book, like, her dress was super expensive. Her necklace was super expensive, Celeste's.
Right.
So what I meant is,
of course,
you take these 2 personalities, you put them in the same Audrey outfit, but for their character.
And see, I kind of look at it differently, whereas now they are on the same level. They are stripped down of their societal standings, and they're both here.
Well, I think it's a little of both. I know that's very typical of me to say, but
we're supposed to have different opinions.
But it's actually kind of both. It does strip them down and say, okay, they're the same character, but the way they dress both of them is yet different. It's same, but...
Right. They're 2 very different women, but they're the same because they're united in abuse.
Exactly.
So...
I like that.
I just thought that was an interesting thing.
And that's probably why they didn't have either... I mean, maybe both, but that's why they didn't have Jane cut her hair off. Because originally she cut her hair off.
I forgot about that.
To do something new and, kind of feel, I'm too sick to explain it right now because I can't stop and think about it.
I'm sorry.
But also because she was originally going to go as Audrey Hepburn from Roman Holiday. And so I didn't understand why they took that out because it would just be so simple to have her do. Mm-hmm. And you just answered it for me.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat little...
That's a great point, and I actually... Smile. I like that. Me. I do like it. It's definitely a good point.
And just to go back really quick to what we were talking about, I know we're running long here, but it's an awesome episode with Celeste seeing the flashbacks of abuse. We also see a flashback of Max hearing the sounds through the air vent, and he puts his headphones on. So now we know for sure the kids know. At least Max knows. I'm sure Josh does too.
They always know.
So I liked that confirmation of it all. Mm-hmm. the next scene, Celeste and Jane meet, and Jane tells her that the bully is Max. And I like how, and in the book too, I was surprised. I was worried that Celeste would, as you normally would, and I actually had something like this happen this weekend. Your natural inclination is to be like, not my child. My child wouldn't do that. But Celeste is not like that. She's receptive and thoughtful, and she's just processing it all. And Jane is like, I thought about maybe Ziggy's lying. Violence is in his DNA. And I feel like Celeste, violence is in her kid's DNA too.
Yep. Sarah made a good point, and I feel the same way. I don't know if I liked that. I get why Jane was trying to relate to Celeste, and I get that, but I don't know if saying bullying is human nature is the best way to approach it, because
I think she was just being consolatory.
You think so? Okay, that's what I thought. I thought maybe she was just trying to be on a level with her.
But I agree. But I am that type of person that would say something like that I don't believe in, just to
console.
Right. To a friend. I wouldn't say that to
and client. We don't have children watching this show, so it's not like they could learn a bad lesson from it.
But I can see myself, if we were in that situation, to
absolutely.
say that to you. Maybe the wording wasn't so great. I don't know if I would have worded it like that. Maybe like, look, kids go through phases or something. Yeah. And they'll grow out of it. And then, but I think it's really telling that Celeste says, or they don't. Mm-hmm. Just Perry, Mm-hmm. Just Perry.
Am I right? Get it? Because that's her last name.
Yes, I got it. Celeste to Max, and I love the way she handled it.
I cried. As soon as she walked up to him and gave him a hug, I started crying.
And his reaction to it, he just sort of melts into her. Mm-hmm. And, she just does it so gently and just perfect motherly, and says we all do bad things. Sometimes you have to tell me, and
I'm here for you.
And it makes you not hate Max, because if Max was like, no, and ran off, you can't help but be like, oh, bastard, you are Perry.
Exactly.
But he doesn't. He's just a kid who has seen and heard lots of really shitty things.
I do like how they got two kids that don't look that far off from Ziggy.
I know. The blonde. Yeah, I know. We see Madeline getting ready. Okay, I hate this. Madeline getting ready, and Abby's in her room, and I guess now it's totally cool for Maddie to tell her teenage daughter.
This is so inappropriate, all of it.
Your daughter is not your friend.
No.
I would never have this conversation with my daughter like
Absolutely
this.
not.
Oh my god, so when I cheated on when I cheated on Ed, you know how that's
When I cheated on your stepfather that you've grown up with for a while now.
You should not be talking like this to your daughter. And I get that in this is supposed to be bonding them, but I hope nobody takes this as like, I should tell my daughter that I cheated on her father.
Yeah, we find out that Abigail has shut down her website, and I'm sorry, I hate that they left this out.
What?
That 83-year-old Larry Fitzgerald donated all this money to Amnesty International to not have her sell her body, and it turns out it was Celeste.
See, I disagree. I like that Abby makes the decision to do it herself.
Really? But the second time I watched it, I do like that she goes, I was told, and pretty much what in the book Larry Fitzgerald quote says to her, she kind of sums that up. I was told, and not by Bonnie. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's their way of putting that. That's their nod to that. Yeah.
Anyone who hasn't read the book, what happens is there's an email that they get, and it's supposedly from an old man who donates like $100,000 to Amnesty International if Abby won't go through with what she's doing.
Yeah.
And we find out later that was Celeste.
Yeah.
So they didn't do that, which I didn't actually really mind. I kind of liked that.
I liked it in the book though so much.
Yeah.
So
good old Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
Renata with Gordon, and she's like, why would you confront them? Mm-hmm. I'll get blamed. And then this awful self-indulgent speech that it like makes me cringe when she talks.
What, if I get shot tonight?
It's just so over the top. And
why didn't she duck?
I'm a CEO, and it's ugh. And then but she does say,
listen, I don't discriminate. You don't have to be a CEO to make me think you're a bitch.
Have you ever been around people who are upset about something and they speak this way and still somehow they're touting themselves?
Yeah.
This is so self-important. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
It's gross.
It's just gross. But I love that she says, I hate everyone right now except Jane. How funny is that? You know what I thought? Poor Harper.
She's just trying so hard.
She's trying so hard. That woman needs friends.
Mm-hmm.
She's not doing it a great way, but she thought Renata was her friend, and Renata is a little hot and cold, which is why I would not trust Renata with knowledge about how.
But she thought that by sticking up for Renata and doing something about it.
Yeah, where does Harper end up in all this? Alone?
Getting ignored at the party by everybody.
Maybe she becomes friends with those gay guys?
Let's think that, yes.
Poor Harper.
I'll take it.
Celeste in the shower? Looks amazing.
Yeah. Incredible.
And I hate that Perry's like, I won't leave until you give me a kiss. And it's like, ugh. You know, you don't want to.
Ugh, I hate him.
I know.
Jane is all dolled up. But I put not as in the book, but we already talked about that. But she's all dolled up, and
I was a little disappointed because in the book they talk about how, not that Shailene Woodley, now I feel like I have to like preface everything with like, not that she's not beautiful. She's beautiful. But in the book they talk about what a transformation it was between plain Jane and Jane as Audrey. That everyone comments in the book about, oh my God, is that you, Jane? You look. So I wanted a little bit more.
yeah.
I wanted a little more.
Part of that was for the haircut, too.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe if they'd done something different with the hair. Whatever.
Yeah, move past.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
But Tom picks her up. That's very cute.
Yes.
We're all happy. You want to do... This is a good time.
Yeah.
You want to do 2 truths?
One big little lie. One blah, blah, blah.
All right, everyone. Hold on to your panties. We're doing 2 truths and 1 big little lie.
Let's play a game called
2 truths and 1 big
Little Lie.
Okay, I'm very excited because
Okay.
I did it right this time.
You think so?
Yep, let me click my pen.
You probably did. We'll see. I know nothing about Elvis, so you've got a leg up there.
Look, see, this time look how short they are.
Oh, good.
Normally my truths and my lies are so long. I did Elvis.
Yeah.
Okay. God,
So you know nothing about Elvis, so.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
No, go for it.
Okay.
Truth 1.
Elvis was distantly related to 2 former U.S. presidents, Andrew Johnson and Jimmy Carter.
Truth 2.
Elvis had a twin brother who died within 6 hours of birth, Jesse Garon Presley. And
Truth 3.
Elvis was in 33 films. His favorite was King Creole, which was filmed just before he entered the army in 1958. These are they're so boring though.
Truth 1. Am I right?
Damn it! I'm so frustrated right now. Why? Why do you say that?
I don't know. I knew the second one.
Do you know who he's related to? Abe Lincoln. And I changed it
I did not know that.
because my son is Lincoln. And I thought I'll trick her with this one. God damn it!
Sorry.
I hate this fucking game. I'm terrible at it. I haven't gotten one.
That's a lie. You did. In like the 3rd or 4th episode, you said you hadn't gotten any, and you had.
No, I haven't.
You had. We'll go back. I promise you. Housekeeping on the next episode of Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
All right. I can guarantee you'll guess mine.
No, don't say that because I'm not going to guess it. I have a 33.3% chance of guessing. I've never gotten one. Go.
The fact that you know that math is more impressive than anything.
Wait, no, 33.3%. Of course.
I don't. Oh, that was just rude. All right.
Gotcha.
Of course. Of course.
Well, everybody knows that.
Here it comes. All right, let's see if I can
It's
get
all
through
I
this.
can do because I've lost this game, so now I just have to insult you.
All right, mine's about Audrey Hepburn. I'm going to try to... Truth 1. Like Holly Golightly, Audrey was a smoker. However, Miss Hepburn would smoke up to 3 packs a day. Audrey Hepburn once dated John F. Kennedy and sang happy birthday to him. Truth 3. The original character designer of Cinderella modeled the Disney princess after the elegant, slender features of Audrey.
One was a lie.
Wrong!
Whatever, man.
Could you believe she smoked up to 3 packs a day?
She did?
Yeah.
Well, she was rail thin, so...
And she dated John F. Kennedy when he was a senator and actually sang him happy birthday, which is not recorded, the very year after Marilyn Monroe did.
See, this is annoying because I knew that, and that's why I thought that was the truth, and you changed one little goddamn thing.
That wasn't the lie.
Which was a lie?
The lie was the next one. The original character designer of Cinderella modeled the Disney princess after the elegant, slender features of Audrey. I changed it from Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. But here's why. Because if you think about it, her look in Breakfast at Tiffany's, bun, choker necklace type
a lot of thought. Yeah, that's what
all
I was
that.
like, definitely.
I was like, that
about.
definitely looks like Audrey, not anything like Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty's on her back the whole time.
Oh, that's why I did that.
All right, well, that was... you definitely won that game throughout this. So whatever our bet was, I'm glad we never solidified
Never made
that.
it. I lied, we did.
That was 2 truths, 1 big little
And one big
Little lie.
My husband and I both work full-time and have a toddler as well. I know what you're thinking. All the free time in the world, right? It's a miracle if we're eating by 9 p.m. I know. Buy the ingredients ahead of time, plan your meals, shop and prep on Sundays. Yeah, okay, in a perfect world. But for the beautifully flawed world I live in, Blue Apron swoops in and saves the day. I can now plan ahead and also save money by using blueapron.com. Visit www.blueapron.com/BTB and you can save $30 off your first order. That's www.blueapron.com/BTB, which in my language says free pedicure for the 1 hour free time you have in a week. The best decision and plan you can make this week is buddying up with blueapron.com. Thanks, little buddies.
All right, we come back. Hope you enjoyed that. Oh, and right after that, we had a commercial, I'm sure, for Blue Apron. So there was that.
Yummy, yummy Blue Apron.
I always forget to mention the commercials. Sorry.
Hey, guess what? Here's the second one. Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron.
I want my Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron.
Coupon code Blue Apron, Blue Apron, Blue Apron, dash
Blue
BTB. Dash BTB.
Blue Apron,
30 days
barbecue
free.
sauce.
$30 off, not 30 days free.
Celeste's Audrey, we already talked about this. Gordon. Oh, no. This is what I want to talk about.
Ed's blue Hawaii look, because I loved it.
This charity event. Holy, this is a huge
Completely
deal.
different from the book, yes. The
This
book,
is
it was supposed to be
crazy.
big, but Jesus, this was
is
big.
like a Hollywood premiere.
It was a royal fucking wedding. It was
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
I did like the guys' different takes on
Elvis?
because throughout me reading the book, I just pictured the white suit with like the gold.
Me too. And the belly hanging
So then
out.
when Ed gets out his blue Hawaii and then even Joseph in his look, I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, okay. All right. There is.
Harry's the only one that does the sort of traditional look, which is only he's in black.
Yes.
Like a soul. Maddie has that weird exchange with Tori. I kind of hate Tori, and I know I shouldn't because she's the victim in all this.
No, Tori's a creep. Tori's such a creep.
I think I called her a freak later on.
Like, just leave your husband because he's obviously cheating on you.
Or tell Ed if that's going to make you feel better.
Do something. Just stop staring like a fucking weirdo.
Right. I know.
She's like a mouth breather.
And
a neck breather, I mean. Not a mouth breather. I'm a mouth breather right now. That's me right now.
Ed looks suspicious again.
You know how you guys said last time that Ed knew, and even I said we thought Ed knew?
He definitely knows now.
Well, you could just see it just like domino affecting in his brain over this entire party.
And I feel like Ed's probably thinking, God damn it, Tori, I don't want to confront this.
Yeah.
Stop making this
I have been
thing.
trying to avoid this for a while now, and you're making it pretty hard.
I know. Okay, so this is another thing I hate about the show that they don't have in the book. This whole Ed into Bonnie thing. Madeline tells him to stop staring at Bonnie when Bonnie and Nathan arrive.
Yeah.
Why is he ogling her?
And then she's like, oh, I bet the room's full of boners or erections. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
So weird.
Is it like a revenge thing? I don't know. I hated it.
No, I don't like it. You're right.
And then Nathan being douchey when he gets out of the car doing...
He's just ridiculous. I do like how they had everybody dressed as Audrey, and then you had you just topped it with the parallels of Celeste and Jane, but like I love how they have like the My Fair Lady at the end with Bonnie, and then Renata.
At first, when I saw Renata, I'm like, is she Katharine Hepburn, an African queen? Like, what is she wearing?
And then what was a famous My Fair Lady outfit?
I've never seen My Fair Lady.
Oh, you have to.
I know, that's crazy.
So good. And then Maddie's Breakfast at Tiffany's look was just perfection. I have been trying to find that eye mask for like 5 years now.
I would wear that because it looks super comfy and sexy.
Oh my god, I loved it all. And then in the book, the caterer wasn't supposed to show up. So these super ridiculous drinks, everybody was getting wasted on.
They allude to the drinks being strong a few times, and they make it, I think they say Ed has like a triple vodka or something.
But HBO is like, our caterer is going to show up to this party.
Yeah, I know. The next scene, where Perry sort of nonchalantly tells Celeste she has a message from Tracy about the fire alarms being installed, and just the look on Celeste's face.
I like literally threw up in my mouth a little bit.
And again, Celeste looks fucking gorgeous.
Oh my god, she looks amazing. And like it's so funny because we know that's gonna happen, and I still threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, because the same thing happens in the book. It's just this quiet. He's not even really making eye contact with her. He's playing with the kids as he says this to her, and she knows that he now knows that she's leaving him and has this apartment. And it's just, I just imagine that sinking feeling that you get once in a while.
Oh yeah,
it's just the worst feeling.
And
she looks terrified, and now they have to leave together. I feel like if I were Celeste, I would grab the babysitter Kelly or whatever her name is and be like, I would be scared to leave and get in that car with him.
Yeah, and I love Sarah's comment. After this happened, my heart rate doesn't go back down for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
We're back at the charity again. Madeline feels like everyone's looking at her, which they are. Tori, like we said, creepy freak. And then this is why I said this. The principal on stage talking about the drink. It's the Otter Bay cocktail. You oughter try one. And I feel like you probably got wet when you said that.
I missed it. And that's why I was so proud of you earlier. You could have just totally gone over it, and I wouldn't have even noticed. I missed that joke, and I just thought you were being a genius.
Oh, I thought you were just playing around with me.
No.
I'm sorry. I do love Black Elvis. Elvis stew. I like Elvis stew a lot.
It definitely is good. Okay, so now Celeste and Perry
the scene.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I whinnied like a horse, but the scene.
I just hate, he says he'll get help, and the only way he can is if she helps him.
He like drives past the entrance and keeps her locked in the car, and it's just the whole time, exactly like Sarah said, my heart was pounding too. When's he gonna knock her out? But in the book, he doesn't either, which, in the book...
But you don't know if they're gonna change anything, so you're just like, crazy. And then she tells Max she tells him that Max is the one that's hurting Amabella. His reaction to this makes me sick, because he's just like, okay, I'll talk to him.
I just think the whole time during all this that how brave she is, because she's honest the entire time, knowing
What are you going to tell him? You going to say that's not the way to treat a lady?
Right. They know what their father does to their mother, and he begs, and she says, you're never going to change. And it's all very like...
It's a huge 180.
We've talked about this before where we're like, Celeste, why are you saying that? You're going to get knocked down. Knocked out.
She's got balls, man.
I know. She's just reached her limit, and then it cuts to Bonnie singing beautifully.
But this is the introduction of, apparently, this is an insanely small cast. And apparently everybody's an amazing singer. This was so unrealistic, that part. It's not in the book, and I really hated that they added that Ed.
Everyone gets a solo?
Yeah, Ed, Nathan, Bonnie.
How very Ryan Murphy.
And there was only one of the three that were actually singing that song.
Yeah.
Boys, weren't your voices.
They all sounded so good. But
Well, yes, of course they did.
It sounded beautiful. We get the cut back to Celeste, and Renata saves her. Finally, Renata stepping in. And I was like, whoosh. And Celeste takes that moment to get out of the car quick.
Fuck out of there.
And Perry knows that he's screwed because he's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then Ed
Because he still doesn't have her to herself. He can't control the situation.
Can't, yeah, and that's what he has to do. Ed sings, and I was like, this competition is serious, man. Like, everyone took it very seriously. But what a beautiful song, and I was crying.
It was gorgeous, but he's still distracted by Jory over there, just fucking Joseph and Tori, that's their celebrity name.
Oh, Jory, got it.
Yeah, Jory just like staring daggers at Maddie over there, and he's just like so distracted. But this song was so sweet.
And it's perfect. It's a perfect...
His voice did not sound like it matched Adam Scott.
That's what I was going to ask you. If it was
Yes.
Was it Adam Scott singing?
It was not Adam Scott singing. It was not Nathan or / James Tupper singing.
Oh, really?
The only person singing was Zoe
Bonnie.
Kravitz.
Which I'm not surprised. She has a beautiful voice, but
of course.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Adam Scott, I wondered if that was him, but I didn't.
No, and it wasn't Nathan either.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Why did they do all that then? It would have been
Exactly.
funnier.
That was my biggest hang up with the whole thing.
It would have been funnier to make them sound bad, especially Nathan. I wish they made
Exactly.
Nathan sound bad.
No, he sounded like, a
Perfect
poor man's
Elvis.
Elvis. Like, a poor man's Elvis. And I say poor man because I just really hate who they've turned Nathan into. I mean, he's already not a good guy, but, like, Jesus.
Maddie's crying, too, and she runs off. Jane follows, and she ends up telling Jane that she cheated, and she doesn't know why. He's the greatest man I've ever known, and they purposely let you know that they're right by the stairs, the broken stairs with the
And just like
caution
Taryn
tape.
predicted, we'd see those stairs again.
Yes. Celeste running in, and for me, it looks like she's desperately looking for a friend.
Yeah.
And no one's there, but she finds Renata, and she's like desperately, quickly trying to tell her
I
about
can't tell
Max.
if she said anything about Perry, because I definitely know she
Oh,
said something about Max, but as soon as Perry walks up, she's like, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I watched it a couple times, I have no idea.
Because the therapist sort of said you need to tell someone.
Yeah.
So maybe
So I wasn't sure if she did or not, but she kind of like got the fuck out of there as soon as Perry came up. So instead of like being like, oh, Perry, like somebody she's normally talking to and all that.
Right.
If it was just their son, she wouldn't run away, I don't think. So I'm thinking that
I don't know.
she told.
They've both lost their chill.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's come to a head now.
Oh, yeah.
There's no... and he's so tall. Do you see him? Oh my god, he's so much taller than everyone. I was
So
shocked.
ridiculous tall.
Alexander Skarsgård, man, those are good genes.
Seriously.
But he wants her to go back to the car, and like you said, she keeps trying to run away from him. No. We got Nathan and Ed in a dick competition.
This is so funny.
Comparing.
It's just so funny.
What is that saying? Dick size competition?
Yeah. Like, penis envy?
What's like we're going back and forth. There was a dick measuring competition. Oh, is that what it is? I don't know. My husband's never had to have one because he always wins. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding.
That was the best.
I'm not kidding. I was just being.
I'm kidding, but about kidding. I'm kidding about kidding. I'm kidding, but can we move on?
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, Nathan asks Ed, or doesn't ask Ed, says he may want to tend to his wife.
Yeah, he's such a jerk about it. And Ed's had it, man. His wife's cheating on him. Now he's being belittled by fucking Nathan and ends up accidentally spilling a drink on Bonnie. Tries to clean it off her boobs.
And then somewhere in there, Bonnie kind of sees Perry violently grabbing Celeste and then going back to completely normal.
Yeah.
As Celeste runs over, grabs a phone, and tells the sitter, get my kids the fuck out of there, get them to the apartment.
And so they don't talk about it in the show, but we can say it now that in the book we find out Bonnie comes from family
This
abuse.
is my biggest... I don't like this.
You don't like that they didn't talk about that?
No, because it just seems like she came out of nowhere.
It's hard for me
They said it once. She has baggage.
It's hard for me to think if the scene was good or bad or not, knowing that in the book she's abused. Like, it's hard for me to separate it.
I think that they should have said something more than telling Ed in episode 3 or 4, everybody has baggage.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Because it doesn't make sense.
I agree.
It shocks, it surprises, but it doesn't make sense. It makes sense in the book.
I know. Another hole there where they didn't necessarily do a great job filling it in.
Yeah. So Renata comes to apologize to Jane, and I love how Maddie drunkenly apologizes to Renata. My favorite line of probably the entire show. It takes a really big person to apologize.
Such a drunk thing to say.
And you're a really big person.
She is a really big person. Do you see how tiny Reese looked next to all those towering women?
I just love that. It takes a really big... And you're a really big person.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
We see Perry getting wasted with Gordon. Gordon giving Tom the gun motion. And all I could think was that Gordon and Nathan would be besties.
Oh my god.
They should
actually hang out.
Go on a Band-Aid.
Yeah, they definitely should. You're so right about that. I didn't even think about that. That's so funny. But yeah, Perry sees Celeste run off and then follows her. And then Bonnie sees Perry run off after she had seen this happen and kind of follows him. Doesn't completely run after him, but hesitantly follows him. She sees that as he goes down to follow Celeste, that all the women are there. So she doesn't really run towards it yet.
Yeah. And he gets to the women. He's trying to get Celeste to go back to the car. He's very aggressive. She continues to say no. And then you see it. Jane has recognized Perry as her abuser.
This sent everything through my throat. Congratulations, Shailene Woodley, Reese Witherspoon, and Nicole Kidman.
Oh,
without anything being said, you guys said absolutely everything.
It was so good. I got chills.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline sees Jane. Celeste sees Jane. And then Perry sees, and he realizes the situation. And then lunges towards Celeste.
Mm.
Oh, I just got chills again.
Me too. I'm like constant chills right now. Because just the look of... She looks terrified. And then Maddie has that holy fuck. And then the sad yet surprised yet holy shit moment of Nicole Kidman. I'm sorry. Like, Nicole Kidman was amazing in this episode.
I think all three of them were. And yes. She was great. She was wonderful. And this episode was hers.
Yes.
She was wonderful in it. So the next scene, we've got police car lights, crime scene tape, and it's the opening, the heavy breathing again that we get in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the dead body, and it's Perry.
Guess what, guys?
It's Perry!
It's Perry!
And he wasn't shot, which is what they've been alluding to the whole time. My husband,
like, all the way leading up to this goes, all right, so this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. All I know is Perry's fucking somebody up. All I know is Perry's killing someone. And then all of a sudden it showed Perry dead, and he's like, well, fuck.
Yes. Well, that's good because he guessed that Perry was the one that abused Jane. So
he did. Originally, he guessed that Perry is the one that raped Jane, but
it's a good surprise.
It is a good surprise.
It's the best surprise.
He was very upset though as soon as he found out, like to the point where I was like, I don't know, I get it. I don't know if you get it, but I get it. Like, there's a back and forth because he's very upset. He's like, well, then why the fuck are they asking these questions about these bitches' fights in the interviews?
Yeah.
Perry's the dead one. What the hell? I'm like, well, it was obviously just a setup for the book, for the movie. Like, it was just to kind of give the reader a perspective.
He's like, they blame the women. Because the women were the only ones there.
Well, that's what I said. And I go, and it's also because they're trying to find out, you know, what actually happened. They don't know what actually happened. They need to find out if there was something going on between the women. And he goes, yeah, I just think it's stupid.
Aww. So maybe for him, they didn't do a great job of translating what was in the book to the show. It honestly, and you and I sort of disregarded too. All those cuts to the interviews, we don't talk about those. They are a little sort of, I don't know. They're okay.
This is the purpose of them. It is the purpose for the reader or the watcher to continually wonder which direction this murderer is going to go to, because you find out at the very first episode that somebody is murdered. And by setting up these episodes, I feel like I'm saying something so obvious right now, but
yeah, no, I don't necessarily know why in the show I find them annoying. Although I don't know if I love them in the book either, but I find them
annoying because they aren't very necessary in the movie or in the show.
And they're a little cheesy.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
I agree. You're right.
Then we see the silent police interviews of the 5 women.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Celeste's face all beat up, and female cop's watching the interview of her. And she knows something's not right, that they're lying. She knows that Perry was pushed. But why would the wife lie? It would be self-defense, 12 months community service. Why would she lie? And the cop's like, that's what I have to figure out. And then the cop basically tells her, let it go.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind. In the book, Bonnie does jail time.
No. Does she?
She gets in trouble for it.
She gets probation, I think.
Probation, okay. So
like a huge amount of hours of
they left that out, and I didn't mind that they left that out.
No, I didn't mind that either. I do love how it's like Perry goes to attack Celeste. This is how you find out Bonnie did it. Perry goes to attack Celeste. The women try to stop it, and they're all getting beat. And with the flashes of the waves crashing every time he hits somebody, and then like a tsunami wave, Bonnie comes out of nowhere.
That scene from that night. Okay, so that's when I cried the most, and I can't necessarily explain it except that the women were like lionesses, protecting their fellow sister.
Absolutely.
And it made me think of like us and our friends. Not that these women are even friends, but that's what you do, and like that's like the heart of female friendship right there. Like that's what it is.
And he's trying to take them down one by one.
And he was. Nobody was nailing. He had that.
He had it.
Yeah. And he's knocking them away, and
you got the scenes of the waves crashing into the rocks and everything. And like I said, a tsunami wave out of nowhere. Bonnie just comes and pushes them off the fucking stairs.
Which is so unexpected. I was shocked in the book. I think they did a good job of this, of her just pushing him.
I wish somehow, though, in 2 seconds, they would have somehow alluded to her past and what led up to that.
Yeah, I know. And then right after, we've got...
And Ed and Nathan were there originally, but I don't mind that they weren't.
I didn't mind that they weren't.
I
actually kind of preferred that it was just the women.
Because then it made it, like you said...
It made their connection more cement.
Yeah, and then I do like the fact that they fast-forwarded to the beach. Yeah. And all of them together.
But I like that Madeline was holding Bonnie, comforting her, and all the women are with their husbands, and Bonnie must have told Nathan. Nathan knows, and he nods at Madeline like a thank you for doing this.
Yeah, Madeline holding Bonnie's face like made me want to cry.
Oh my god. That's how I felt when I started crying again, when Celeste holds Jane's face at Perry's funeral, and you can see her say, "Are you okay?" Like, it's just,
it's so definitely a good amount of solidarity coming from so many different women who were on such different paths to begin with, and everything leading up to that.
And then all the scenes of them on the beach, again, sobbing, because I'm thinking about us with our kids, and how this would just be a day with our kids playing and us hugging and holding one another. And I love that that's what was going on.
All right, and so for only show watchers, we're going to go ahead and tell you the ending, because you didn't get the ending. You got sort of the ending.
What do you mean?
Well, here, let me just read it off because I don't feel well. I'm sorry. Okay. Celeste actually moves into the apartment that she bought after in the book. She did not really need a reminder of her life with Perry. Oh, so she goes and moves into the apartment that she had bought and goes back to being a lawyer. Twins haven't really coped very well, and they're a little angry and aggressive and violent. Celeste is still Celeste is still in love with Perry, but confused about what it means, so she continues to talk to her therapist.
Good.
And she's actually chosen to share her story with other victims and becomes an advocate for abuse.
Yes. Oh, okay, now I remember.
Yeah, and I think that was... I'm not mad they left it out.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing to add, just at the end here.
And that just goes back to what you were saying, the last line of the book, that this is more than just a story. Yeah. And then, but the way they ended this is strange, with somebody looking through binoculars, I'm assuming a police officer, at the women on the beach. And we hear a lighter flip sound, which we heard several times during this episode of different clips of the women. It was like a lighter sound.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and then that's the last sound you hear as well before they...
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think that means?
I don't know, but it almost makes it seem like in season 2, they find out who did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It kind of leaves like a weird cliffhanger.
That's weird.
But, okay, that was it. That's the end of the show.
No, let's keep talking. Let's make up shit so we can keep talking about Big Little Lies.
No, but I have some thoughts.
Okay, let's hear them.
Does Ed find out?
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry, but this was just like, way to really prove the storyline was a little pointless and just to give Reese Witherspoon some extra lines.
Well, I would rather not show them not together, so...
I don't want them not together, but I would rather...
Is that why Chloe was playing at the piano looking so forlorn?
I don't know.
I thought, is that what they're addressing?
Fuck. It's Chloe lighting that lighter the whole time.
It's Chloe. Oh.
I liked it.
I did too. I think that they made
one long movie.
They made Ed look a little bit like, I don't know if this is an offensive term, but kind of like a patsy. Like, he's just sort of bullied this whole episode and kind of looks wimpy. That's the word.
But wasn't that kind of how he was portrayed in the book a little bit?
In the book, there wasn't the cheating thing.
No.
And he didn't seem used and weak.
Yeah,
and
okay, so there's the term I'm looking for that I agree with you with. He definitely feels used.
And in the book, which I don't mind that they left this out, there's conflict between he and Abby, which gives him a little sense of, not manliness, but backbone. Like, he believes in certain things, and he disagrees with Abby's choices.
Stands up for his decisions.
Which you don't get that. So he just seems a little wimpy.
No, yeah, I agree. But they seem like almost like the cartoon versions of themselves.
Yeah.
Like, Nathan is not that douchey in the book.
Yeah.
Ed is not that wimpy in this book.
Right.
The book.
Right.
But they're almost like, I can't think of any word as it is when it comes to doing this, so especially now.
I like that they kind of address nature versus nurture.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got Ziggy and the twins who have the same father. Ziggy, gentle, sweet boy. Max, who is being a bully. So, it kind of makes it seem like no matter what you come from, you can be what you want to be.
Exactly.
Be who you want to be. It depends on how you're brought up. And clearly, so it was like a nurture, if you
I definitely think nature has a huge impact.
Nature?
Yeah.
Nature or nurture?
Well, nurture, obviously. I feel like that's an obvious
You just
thing.
know what you're born with? But,
like, what you're born with is obviously, but I think that your surroundings, your environment is... I'm probably not saying this right, but your environment is, like, the biggest thing.
Yeah, I go back and forth, but I definitely... I think that I agree with that. I could talk about that forever, but I do like that they bring that up.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I have here is that they didn't explain the whole Saxon Banks thing. And in the book...
Oh, I have that there too sometime. Or, yeah. Yeah, go for it, because...
No, go.
No.
That's the last thing I have. Just that... Okay, so in the book, Saxon Banks was a cousin of Perry's... Right? A cousin? And they had a really close friendship, but Saxon was kind of crazy, and they used to joke around, and Perry would pretend to be Saxon, and that's why he used the name Saxon Banks.
And Celeste finds out about Saxon Banks way earlier in the book.
Yeah.
And finds out that Perry's cousin is the one that raped Jane, and... if Ziggy's the one violently attacking Amabella, is it because of something that's in their family gene, the family stain?
Right. So that's a whole element that we didn't necessarily get. So, thoughts. I think that they did a really wonderful job of adapting the book to the show.
I agree.
I think they actually could have left some elements out.
Yeah.
Like
the interviews.
What?
I don't know if they could have, though.
I know. We talked a little bit about it, but I loved it.
Yeah, me too. I absolutely loved it.
Acting was awesome.
They could have left the Jory thing out.
The Jory? Oh, right.
I'm not a fan of it, so.
I think that's the biggest thing that I don't love. But I understand why it's there.
I understand why they did it, yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
If I hadn't read the book, I wouldn't have
I
felt
love
that.
this show. Like, it doesn't take away my opinion towards how they did the show. I think they did great.
And I would love to hear from someone who didn't read the book and is now going to read the book to see, like, what they prefer.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we all know.
Or if you've never read the book, what did you feel about the show?
Yeah. It's what is the word I'm looking for? We just expect that TV or movie versions of books are less than. But this was really, really great. So
No, and it's his approach. There's Jean-Claude Van Damme or whatever his name is that directs.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the director.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is Jean-Claude Valet or something?
Jean Valet.
Jean Valet.
Valet.
Jean-Claude
Van Damme. He's like, more guns. More running with dirt
I'm
on
too
your
into
face.
Sense8 right now. It's the guy from Nairobi who has the Jean-Claude Van Damme bus. Anyway, he said that, I wanted to make this into one big movie, and that's why it might feel slow sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I agree. That's why, throughout we've kind of recommended that if you haven't read the book and you're not feeling super into it right now, you might want to wait and binge watch the whole thing, because I think you'd like it a lot more.
Yeah. It was so good.
It was very good.
We're sad it's over, and thank you all for joining us on this awesome journey of Big Little Lies. Tune in to our other stuff, write in. Thank you to everyone who emailed in, and we'll be back soon.
Crossed out.
Night, night, little buddies.
Night.